Okay, as some of you may know, I recently acquired a lot of really cool antique pieces and vintage pieces that came from the now closed Fisher Gage operation that was in Peterborough. So this is probably one of my most industrial salvage local history projects I've taken part in. All of these pieces were locally sourced from the wood live edge bases to these unbelievably cool foundry molds that came directly from Fisher Gage, which you can see here. These molds were used to cast metal components for the various companies that they created components for throughout Peterborough and across the world. You can see some of them still have their original writing on it saying Fisher Gage Works, different serial numbers. So all of these wooden molds are pretty unique and would have been used for different components. This one's so cool, it says obsolete on it. This one's also pretty amazing in that it actually comes apart and you can see the serial number on both pieces. So all of the components here, like I said, from the gauges, old antique gauges, the wooden foundry molds, even the lettering here. So I made this series from A to F, even though it skips a letter, because they kind of constitute a series of similar lamps that all have pieces and components from Fisher Gage from Peterborough. And if you don't know Fisher Gage, I'll put the link to the history in the description. Local Peterborough company. Some of the big names connected with Fisher Gage would be, well, Mike Fisher. Trying to think of who else. There's a famous country singer that was attached to the company as well. Anyway, what you'll be getting if you purchase one of these is not only a pretty unique lamp. Some of these have the dial switch. Some of them have the custom flick switch that you'd see at the back. What you'll also be getting with it, though, I'll be throwing into to the purchase, is some original drafted drawings from Fisher Gage as well. So I'll be throwing in a couple of those with your purchase, which I thought would be kind of a cool add-on. And also some images that came from the Peterborough Museum archives, which I thought would be just an interesting thing to add to the purchase. So pretty incredible lighting pieces. I enjoyed creating them. Quite a lot of time put into these, but I thought they turned out quite interesting. And then on top of that, I also created two lights that have more of a nautical theme. We've got this one here, which has an old antique brass propeller that actually came from Outboard Motor Corporation out of Peterborough, which is pretty cool. And then I found this old brass plaque, which I thought was kind of funny. Definition of a yacht. If you ask how much, you can't afford it. Kind of silly. And then this other one over here, again, the brass propeller came from Outboard Marine Corporation, which is out of Peterborough as well. And it has a really old steering wheel that would have come from a local boat. So more of the nautical theme lights that you see here. And as well with those, if you do purchase, I do have some old images that come from the OMC out of Peterborough. Some of the really cool features, you can see the old stamping, engineered stamping. So anyway, I thought that would be the best way to show you the lights.